Welcome in TarHeel Nation to the TarHeel Herald. If you could, please share this with your TarHeel friends, family, or like, comment, subscribe. Anything helps the channel. Okay, let's move on to the other side of the trench. And let me start off by saying, let's actually just do this. Let's list off everyone returning for this defensive line. And I'm going to include the edge guys who may turn into linebackers this year. We're going to have to, there's going to be a lot changed on this defensive unit. I hope everyone realizes. But let me just do this real quick. I want to talk about the defensive line. I'm going to add the edge rushers. But let me just name everybody to you that Bateman has to choose from. We got KBJ, Kendrick Bingley Jones. You got Kevin Hester Jr., Pinder, Murphy. Then you got coming in Keyshawn Silver, Javari Ritzie. Those are all underclassmen next year. Then on the edge side of the underclassmen, you have Kamen Rucker and Desmond Evans. Sorry. That's all underclassmen next year. Then the upperclassmen, you have Tamon Fox, Jaleel Taylor, Reva Hassick, Tyrone Hopper, Chris Collins. Now, after naming all of those people, the only people I really think, if my predictions are correct and some of these guys become more of a true edge / outside linebacker type guys, the people I think that would do that is Evans, Hopper, and Collins. Now, and I hesitate to include Tamon Fox to that group because he is probably the best edge rusher we have. I mean, he had most of the sacks and tackles for loss besides Chaz Surratt. Now, he didn't have a ton of tackles, which makes me think that he's probably better for the line anyways because he gets great pressure on the outside, and I don't think we can give up. I know you can get sacks and everything from line, and maybe he is a better outside linebacker, but I just feel like he's going to stay on the line. But with everybody, with the amount of veteran experience that we're going to have, with spring practice and getting all these young guys in, especially the ones that already got some time in last year with no spring, Bateman's got a lot to choose from. He's going to have I can't wait to see the different types of packages. I think he's going to have a lot of different things to try. So I got the stats here, and obviously it's the same thing with how the offensive line gets their stats, except just vice versa. And they're almost the exact opposite as our offensive line. And if you look at it, they had issues with the run game. They're floating in the 80s, 90s, and 100s on all. So the only thing we were bailed out by in the run game was our safeties and linebackers, and we don't need to be bailing out when they need to be worrying about the pass game more often than not. So if we ever were against a good offensive line, a good QB that can run and a good offensive line, if they can block the linebackers, they're breaking out, and the safeties have to bail us out, and we don't need that. So we need better congestion when it comes to those run games instead of them allowing so many holes. So with as many people coming back, even the young guys and more veterans coming back, I think you can easily see those numbers get a whole lot better with the packages that you're probably going to see come from Bateman, because Bateman is known well for air, passing, because he's a safeties coach, and I think he was also a DB's coach for a lot. But he is well known for passing, but he was a defensive coordinator at Army, so he knows how to stop the run. He had to face it every day in practice. So once he gets this defensive line unit, more experience, especially with that spring game or spring practice, I assume he's gonna fix it, especially with our secondary unit is going to be much better next year. The teams are going to probably run against us a lot more, so he's going to be well prepared for that. And now the funny thing about this that I was looking at, if you look at the schedule and look at all of the teams that are returning great run games, who are we looking at? We have Notre Dame, Virginia, mostly because the quarterback himself is a good runner. Virginia Tech's losing Hendon Hooker, Quincy Patterson, and Herbert, so we'll have to see how that. It's the first game of the year, which kind of sucks, but we don't know how the run game is going to be. That's probably how they're going to have to beat us, is the run game, so we'll have to see about that one. But Miami wasn't a great run team, at least not against us, but Derek King could obviously run, and we already had issues with quarterbacks, but we'll have to see there. But just of course Wake Forest is always tough on the run game. We'll have to see there, and Pitt relies heavily on theirs. So you're looking at quite a few teams that we're going to need to be stopping the run. However, besides Notre Dame, I don't see anything elite. I would say it's all going to be standard, but when it comes to Notre Dame, that's luckily it's on the second half of the year after a bye, especially the fact that we get a bye. That's amazing. But Notre Dame is probably going to be hitting us hard with the offensive line and that running back, because they got their 5-year quarterback or whatever he was is leaving. They have some great tight ends who can block and catch, but they always got a tight end that can block. And I don't know how many offensive line is leaving. I think 2 are going to the NFL, and they're really good, but they're always going to have offensive line in the bag. And of course, they have that running back that's very, very good. So we'll have to see. But I assume that's going to be our hardest run game, and hopefully by then we'll be much better and solidified and know who's going to be. I mean, we may see a lot of minutes tallied up and divided out between all. I mean, let me look here. We have 12 people who can be working for us on the offensive line at least. I don't know if you're going to see some veteran guys start to sit more. Maybe Jaleel Taylor doesn't play. Maybe Ray Vahasek doesn't play. Who knows? But either way, you're going to have a lot of options here. And I think with our defensive line having much more fresh legs, we're probably going to be more efficient, especially and hopefully in the run game. So all right, everyone, that wraps this one up. Remember, like, comment, or better yet, subscribe. And if you made it this far and you know a TarHeel who might want to listen, give him a share. But thanks for tuning in, guys. And until next time, I'll see you later, TarHeel Nation.